Hey everyone, Matthew Baker here. For those who don't know, I'm a professional counsellor, and today what I want to talk to you about is the most important thing to know when treating anxiety. This is really, really important because so many people want to recover out there, but they may not be doing the right things to do that, even though it helps with anxiety. So let's get into it. The most important thing to know when recovering from anxiety is the difference between what helps you cope and what helps you recover. And the problem with a lot of people who try to recover from anxiety is that they do a lot of things which help them cope with it, and they think that will actually lead them to recover, but in reality, it doesn't do that. So what are the things which help you cope? The things which help you cope are, for example, mindfulness, positive affirmations, CBT sort of stuff, which just sort of lowers the anxiety in a moment where, for example, maybe you're in a socially anxious situation and the CBT technique maybe to think positively about it, to acknowledge some of your good attributes and so on. And again, that will help you in that situation or distance yourself from some of the negative thoughts like I'm a loser or whatever it is. However, it will not help you actually recover from anxiety. So again, you need to acknowledge what actually helps you cope, which is these mindfulness, whatever it is which actually helps you in the present moment with anxiety, and what helps you recover. So what helps you recover? What helps you recover is getting to the nitty-gritty of your anxiety, so finding out what actually caused it in the first place. So this is what I call the first part of recovery, which is healing the past. So what actually caused the anxiety? Understand what really happened for you to develop anxiety, because the essence of anxiety in the first place is the world being stronger than you, essentially you having a threat in an environment and you feel like you can't handle it effectively, or you can't manage your emotions effectively, and whatever it is, you feel like it's going to overpower you, and that's what causes you anxiety. So what you want to do is learn what got you to this point in the first place. Why do you feel like you can't overcome the obstacle or threat in your environment? If you're socially anxious, why is it that you feel like you're going to look stupid or you're going to be judged negatively? What actually onset this whole thought process and this pattern which has maybe occurred for many years? If you really get to the bottom of this, you'll realize that there may be a certain incident or certain instances, or for example, the parenting style which you were raised with, where you may have been squashed a little bit as a child. It could be many different things, but if you get to the bottom of this and understand what it actually is, then you can heal the past by doing certain CBT practices, where again, CBT is really good, but it has to be done in the right way. If you're doing it to cope, perfect. If you're doing it to recover, perfect. But it has to be aligned with what you really want. If you want to recover, things like cognitive reframing, where you reframe the situation which caused you a lot of pain. So if you're bullied at school, you reframe in a way that you don't think you're a loser, but maybe the person who was bullying you was a dickhead. Or maybe the teacher should have intervened, or maybe your friend should have helped you out. There's so many different ways of analysing and processing that situation, and you just have to reframe in such a way which serves you rather than squashes you. And the second part of what really helps you recover is to change your habits in the present moment and approach that which you fear. So for example, changing your habits may be approaching instead of withdrawing from the situation. So instead of hibernating in your bed or avoiding certain situations which are painful, you actually go out there and approach it, confront the fear, push through it, and gradually become more and more desensitized to the threat. That way you'll become more and more empowered within yourself because you're approaching the situation and overcoming it, and you'll start this huge upward sort of spiral. So that's a big way, the second biggest part of recovery, which is approaching the situation. And again, you can use CBT techniques, mindfulness, whatever it is to actually do this, but this is the framework of the recovery, as opposed to these little things like mindfulness, which when they're not in the framework won't actually fully help you recover. You have to have the path there, where again, healing the past, then approaching and developing the right habits in the present to fully eliminate this anxiety which you have. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, the biggest takeaway is to know the difference between what helps you cope and what helps you recover. And again, the biggest trap which a lot of people fall into is that they do what helps them cope and they think that that will lead to recovery. And that's how you stay in therapy for many, many, many years. And you approach this for many, many years, but you're not doing the exact right way with that foundation and that framework, which I was just sort of talking about before, which leads to your recovery. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.